We already missed it. Right. We didn't even... I forgot all about it. And I thought about it earlier. But it went off my mind. Ah. I don't want you to ever say that I'm nasty again. Ever say that I'm mean.
I didn't say that I wasn't.
Oh, okay. I just want to be clear.
I didn't say that I wasn't.
But you never admit to your nastiness.
Yes, I do. I know when I am.
Why you hoarse? You been drinking?
No, I've been working. I'm tired.
Because when that lady came over here today, knocked on my door, you didn't even open the door for her. You knew she was coming. And then when she came in and was like, oh, Terrence, I didn't know you were here. And you were like, didn't even speak, didn't even say nothing to her, didn't even acknowledge her. That is so nasty. Like, you can never say anything about me, ever. I've never treated anybody like that. You have never seen me treat anybody. No, I'm not going to hit you. I'm just expressing myself with this cord. You have never seen me treat... Is this my box right here?
Mine.
I'm just asking, calm down, take the heat off of it. You have never seen me treat or talk to anybody like that. And when you did that to her, I was just like, I cannot believe he's standing here, sitting here, not saying it. Like, you didn't even... Why did you not say hello?
I was in the zone.
So you could... That prevented you from saying...
I get my shit.
That
I have to go home and go to sleep.
That prevented you from saying... That prevented you from saying hello to that lady?
Gosh.
That prevented you from saying hello to that lady?
Can I go home?
Neffy's a nasty bitch. You's a nasty bitch. You's a gutter snipe. That lady came in here and was trying to be friendly, and you didn't even look at her. And then when you left, you was like, y'all have a great day, but you looked right at me. Didn't even look at that lady. You are something else. Don't you ever tell me that I'm nasty or I'm mean, because I'm not. That was just shitty and low down. You know that was shitty and low down.
Can I have my car so I can go home?
No, I need you to acknowledge what I'm saying to you. Was that not shitty and low down, what you did?
I'm not at the level to receive it.
You're not at the level to receive it. Here, Terrence.
Thank you, Craig.
That was so nasty of you.
Can I get my cord?
What's your schedule like tomorrow? Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig, the writer Stewart, and this is So Much to Say. These are my thoughts. The Facebook Live version of So Much to Say. These are my thoughts. In my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. Today, we're talking to nasty ass, cantankerous ass, DT. With his shitty ass. He is the president and CEO of nasty.com. You were so nasty to that lady today. I was utterly embarrassed. I was so utterly embarrassed. I cannot believe you treated her like that. I was so embarrassed. I cannot believe you did that. I really was. I really was embarrassed. I was really embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, is he gonna sit here and not say anything to her? Like, this lady came over to my house today, a friend of mine.
Oh my God.
She came over today. You saw on my Facebook story, perhaps. My friend Lynn came over here today because we agreed to, well, she knows she was here and she knows you were nasty to her. So she came over here today because we had agreed to make spicy kale wraps. You know how I make those, you know how I buy those punanis? Well, we try to make them at home. Not punani, but we try to make a spicy kale wrap. Really?
I got to go.
So, you know, Terrence spent the night last night. So he was here when my friend Lynn came over here. And he knows her. And mind you, she went and celebrated this motherfucker's birthday on February 5th. That was the last time you saw her, wasn't it? And then he gonna give her pure shade today. Didn't even speak to that lady. So she came over here. So I was getting out of the shower. So when she buzzed through the gate, I had my phone in the back, so I buzzed her through the gate. But I didn't know she had gotten to the door. This lady knocking on the front door. His ass. Sitting right over here in the dining room. Did not go and open the door for her.
I don't open the door at other people's houses.
You knew she was coming, though. Because you said to me, oh, Lynn will be here soon. Did not open the door for her. So then I happened to come out. I happened to emerge from my bedroom.
Let me go.
I happened to emerge from my bedroom. And, and I say, oh, Lynn, because she knows the code to get in my house. There's a code to get in the door. I don't have a key to get in my front door. There's a code. So she knows the code. So she came in. But, she's respectful, so she'll knock on the door before she comes in. She won't just use the code. And so she came in. So I walked up. I said, oh, I didn't even know you were here. She said, yeah, I knocked on the door. But I just figured I would just go ahead and use the code because, you didn't answer. So she takes her shoes off. She leaves her umbrella outside because it was raining today. She whips around that corner and sees him sitting over at the dining room table. She said, oh, Terrence, I didn't know you were here. She said, why didn't you open the door for me? This motherfucker. He stood there like a mute. She was like, she looking at me like, is something wrong with him? Is he okay? And so then she sits down. Well, she puts the stuff down because we about to make our spicy kale wraps. And he never says anything. He's shuffling and rifling through papers on the desk. He's working on his computer. He's looking at emails. He's sending emails. Never acknowledges this lady. He sat mind you, this lady was at his birthday on February 5th.
I got to go.
This lady was at his birthday on February 5th, and he did not speak to her.
Why is you?
This lady came to his birthday. This lady came to his birthday on February 5th, and he did not even speak to her. She stood there and talked to me the entire time. He never even looked at her. Then he had the nerve to leave. He was like, all right, y'all have a great day, but didn't even look at her. He looked right at me. Nothing good is going to, look at me, nothing good is going to come from you. Nothing good. Wait, what? He is horrible. He's horrible. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is the Facebook Live version of So Much to Say. So listen, I have an interview tonight in about 40 minutes. So if you guys would like, I'll keep you on here because it's a Skype interview. They're in California. They're in Los Angeles. So if you like, I can stay on here and you guys can listen to the interview while I do it. Or we can talk for about 30 minutes and then I'll get off of here. But I do have something to talk about until then. Let me get over here and get set up. All right, so listen. Let me get my cord, get this thing charged up, plugged up. Okay, so speaking of, I wanted to talk to you guys about a friend of mine. Let me get this plugged up so the phone doesn't die. So let me get the cord. Hold on. Oh, I thought he took my cord. Curtis, I did autograph your books. You should have gotten your books today. Curtis, you didn't get your books today? Everybody else got theirs today. All right, so listen, this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. A friend of mine came over here today. Let me get set up for my interview too, okay? Because they're going to call me on Skype. So I need to have this in place So when they call. And then also, let me just tell you this while I got your attention. Tomorrow night at 9 p.m. sharp, 9 p.m. sharp, tomorrow, Mike and I, you know, you guys call him Cute Mike. We went to church the other day. Tomorrow night, he and I are going to go live together. We're not going to be here at my house. Excuse me. We're going to be at a nice location. And we're going to be, pardon me, we're going to be talking about suicide. Okay, we're going to talk about suicide. We're going to talk about depression and just those topics around it, right? If you've ever had thoughts of suicide, if you've had, I thought you were sleepy. If you've ever had thoughts of suicide, if you know anybody that's had suicide. Yes, Curtis, that's the package that you have at the office today. Everybody should have gotten their books today. You all should have gotten your orders today. Thank you. I appreciate you supporting the books. So he and I are going to be live tomorrow night at 9 p.m. talking about suicide, depression, loneliness, all of that kind of stuff. He has a personal account of his own story of an attempted suicide, and he has a friend, someone that he knows that actually was successful in committing suicide. It's a young woman. Don't quote me on her age, but she was a teenager. I think she was like 18 or 19, and she committed suicide. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow, but it's going to be really powerful because he's going to share his own personal account of his attempt, of his suicide attempt. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. We're going to have a full conversation. We're going to have our wine together. Mike, I think, is in here. Yeah, so tune in tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Mike is in here. Tune in tomorrow at 9 p.m. She was 18 years old. Okay, thank you. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. I'm going to get to our location at 8:45 so that we can be set up. But I really want you guys to listen. Even if you've never committed or even if you've never attempted suicide, it's important that you hear the conversation. It's important that you hear the conversation. So we want to talk about that tomorrow because, of course, I know many of you in here are black people. And for those of you that are non-black, like the white people that are here and perhaps the Hispanic people, in the black community, it is really a taboo topic. Like suicide is a taboo topic. It's one of those things that black people are supposedly too strong for suicide. That's not something that we do. Oh, that's something that other people do. We don't do that. So it really is going to be one of those kind of conversations. So please be here. Tell everybody that you know about it. When we come on live tomorrow, please share the video. I'll remind you though, but please share the video as soon as we come on so that we can get as many bodies in here as possible listening to the subject. Now let me tell y'all this. Let me get my lips together. So my friend came over today, and I think that this might really encourage somebody. Let me sign on to Skype so they can call me. Now, when they call me on Skype, I'm going to go right into my interview. Like I said, I can stay on here if you guys want to listen to the interview. They're in California. So if you guys want to listen on the interview, you're welcome to do that. But a friend of mine, she came by today. Oh, wait. Before I go into that, I want to thank all of you that supported the books today. Many of you purchased books today. I will be shipping those out tomorrow. So if you plan on purchasing books tonight or tomorrow, go ahead and do so. And they will ship out with the other orders that are going out tomorrow. I want to send a special thank you to Charlotte Garner. She's in Baltimore. That's my hometown. I had no idea that she's been watching these videos. I have no idea who all watches these videos unless you guys comment in here and I recognize your name in here. But I wanted to say thank you to Charlotte and thank you to, hold on, there's one more name. Richard Outing. You guys purchased books today and I really appreciate that. I appreciate you guys doing that because as I said to Michelle Murray sent me a message tonight as well. she said to me, oh my God, I just started reading your book today. I finished it today and it was just amazing, this, that, and the third. But I want to say thank you to you guys for supporting what I do, because you gifting a book to your daughter, TS Madison. TS Madison, I need you to go ahead and send me $20 through the cash. But anyway, I want to say thank you guys for supporting what I do, because of you, I eat. Because of you, and I like to break it down like that, because I think sometimes it helps for you to understand. Like, because of you, I'm able to live. I'm able to survive. I'm able to chase my dream because you support my book. I'm grateful that you love the books, that you read the books, that you're excited about the books. But my words to you are thank you, because I have no other way to say that, right? So thank you guys for supporting the books. I appreciate it. All of the Cash App details are up here, and I'm going to pin it down here as well. Since TS Madison is in here, I'm going to go ahead and remind you guys that we got one old show for y'all asses come March 19th. We got one old show for you come March 19th. Okay, we're not about to play with y'all on March 19th. That's when the Queen's Supreme Court will debut. And that's all I'm going to say about that before I say too much. Yes, so thank you guys. Yes, 3/19. It's going to be on 3/19 at 10 o'clock. So we're going to let y'all have it. So right before I came on here, Madison and I had a FaceTime call, because, you know, that's how we do. We debrief. We talk about different things. We run ideas past each other. We take notes on it. Like, it's a full-on production. So I just want you guys to be aware that 3/19, March 19th, yes, John Trainer, CPT, Color People Time. So somewhere between 10 and 10:30, we're going to be on. But, so listen, this is what I want to share with you before my interview at 10:15. A friend of mine, she stopped by today. She has not been working for a while. And every now and then I check on her. And I say to her, I send her a text, and this might be good for you guys to do this as well. Sometimes you have to check on your people. You have to check on your people to make sure that they're okay. And so I shoot her a text from time to time and say, hey, I'm just thinking about you. How you feeling? Are your spirits up? Because I know what it's like to be in that valley when you're in between jobs and life continues to happen even though you're in between those jobs. And so she's done all of the things that she needs to do in terms of trying to create and generate income. Like, she's done some babysitting, just to keep money coming in. She had a roommate for a little while to keep some money coming in. But she doesn't have any of those things going on right now. So the reality is, I try to check on her to say, hey, how are your spirits? Are you okay? And so today she came by. We did our little lunch thing. We made lunch together today. I put some video on my Facebook story and on my Instagram story, so you can see us putting together our spicy kale wraps. But long story short, she said to me, I said, so how are you doing? She said, well, I'm about to go to Morocco. One of her friends' birthday is coming up. She said, well, I'm about to go to Morocco. And then she said she was going someplace else. And I was like, well, for a bitch that ain't got no job, you sure doing a lot of traveling. How you doing all this and you ain't got no job? And so she said to me later in the conversation, she said, Craig, listen. She said, I don't know how I'm going to pay for that. Because I said to her, I said, how long is the flight to Morocco? She said, oh, I don't even know. And I said, well, was the ticket expensive, the plane ticket? And then she said to me, oh, I haven't purchased it yet. She said, I don't even know how I'm going to pay for the ticket. She said, but, you know, when my friend told me that she wanted to celebrate her birthday in Morocco, I looked at the pictures from the brochure, I looked at everything, and I decided I'm going to Morocco. She said, now I don't know how I'm going to pay for it. She said, but it has to happen because I've decided that it's going to happen. And I'm only sharing this with you guys because I need you to understand that you can will things into your life. You can summon things into your life. And it's all about you focusing on it and believing that it can come to pass. I don't mean you sit and you fret over it, F-R-E-T, there's your word. I don't mean you sit and fret over it. What I mean is you trust that it's going to happen. You say to yourself, I don't know how this is going to happen, but this is what my intentions are. I'm going to do this. Yes, Madison, the key to success is the knowing. You have to move like you know. You have to move like you know. And have you ever had a situation where you thought about someone that you haven't talked to in a year or 6 months or whatever? Like somebody that you don't talk to on a regular basis. And you ever had a situation where you thought about them, you're like, oh, damn, I wonder what's happening to such and such. And then all of a sudden, the telephone rings and it's that person calling your phone. You have summoned them into your life. You have willed them in. And the same thing can happen for your passions. The same thing can happen for a job. Somebody is watching this video right now. You've been out of work. You don't know how you're going to make it. But you have to just trust. It goes back to what I was saying about Will. Remember my friend Will? And I said he's been auditioning for these roles. And yesterday, before we went to the gym, he said he was home and he cried a little bit. And he was feeling down. He was praying. He was talking to God. And I said to him, well, why didn't you call me? He said, oh, because I was talking to God. And I said, oh, okay, well, I guess God trumps me. So that's fine. But I said to him, I said, then you're not really living in it. Because what he told me before was, when I do an audition, like the McDonald's audition that he did, he said when I did that audition, he said whenever I do an audition, I leave it there. I don't think about it. And so I said to him, because as a friend and as a part of his tribe, remember I talked to you guys a lot of times about having a tribe, the people that are going to push you to your dreams and challenge you and hold that mirror up to you when your shit ain't looking right, but in a loving way. I said to him, I said, you're not really letting it go. You're not really leaving the audition there. I said, because if you came home yesterday and you were crying and upset, I said, well, you haven't been in Atlanta that long. He just moved to Atlanta in January. He just moved to Atlanta in January. So what I said to him was, I said, you're sowing your seeds. And I say to you guys all of the time, whatever you put out into the universe, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's evil, whether it's nasty, it always comes back to you. The energy that you throw out, it comes back like a boomerang. It may not come back from the person that you hurt or you helped, but it always comes back to you. And I said to him, you're going on these, you're being diligent. You're going to these auditions. You're going to, you're rehearsing these scripts. Like you're doing your part. The rest is up to the universe. The rest is up to your God. The rest is up to God. And so why are you panicking? Stop panicking. And so what I'm saying to you, and I've told you guys this before, I have literally jumped on a plane and gone to a city because I had a signing. Because I had a signing in Houston, or I had a signing in Charlotte. And I literally got to these cities. And all I had after buying my plane ticket, after buying books, all I had was $50 to my name. And I'm in another city. And I have said to myself, you're going to sell these books. I told myself, you're going to sell all of these books here. That's what you're going to do. And I got to those cities and I sold those books. But you have to believe. There are moments now, and as transparent as I am with you guys know my story. As transparent as I am, there are moments now. It's the beginning of the month. It's March 6th. I have paid all of my bills. All of my bills. So guess what that account is giving? Guess what that bank account is giving? That bank account is real low. But guess what? I was able to pay all my bills. But here's what I tell myself when I even think about panicking. When I even think about panicking, you got a closet full of books over there. Get to work. Get to work. You ain't broke. You got books over there. Get them books. Sell those books. You have a way. There are so many ways, and you may not have written a book. You don't have to. Listen. Don't get caught up in the specifics. You may not have written a book, but what I'm telling you is There are 1,000,001 ways for you to make money. Your responsibility in life is not to be pining over money. Your responsibility in life is not to be walking around worrying about how you're going to make money. That's the least of your concerns. If you're worrying about it, you're blocking the energy from coming into your life. You're blocking the energy, the positive energy from coming into your life. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You have to trust. And I don't mean on some old magic shit. I don't mean on some old magic shit. The best that I can tell you is when you feel yourself start to panic. Oh my God, I got this bill and it's due on Tuesday. Oh my God, I got this bill and it's due on Friday. And today is Tuesday and you're worried about a bill on Friday. Bitch, you got 3 whole days. Anything can happen in those 3 days. But it can't happen if you're panicking. It can't happen if you're panicking. You cannot panic. You have to trust. You have to trust and believe that it's all going to work out for you. You have to believe that. You have to believe that. And you have to trust that whatever happens, happens when and as it should. When and as it should. You can only do what you can do. You can't control anything outside of yourself. You can't control anything outside of yourself. And so when she said to me today, when my friend came by today and said, Craig, I'm going to Morocco. Now, I don't know how I'm going to get out. I don't know how I'm going to pay for it. But see, that's not her responsibility. The universe, between now and the end of July, which is when that trip is supposed to be, anything can happen. Anything can happen between now and the time that that trip is supposed to happen. So why are you panicking? Why are you panicking? You should not. You're wasting your energy, time, and effort panicking. Stop doing it. Stop panicking about your relationship. Stop panicking about your finances. Stop panicking about your course or your direction in life. Stop panicking about your children. You have to really surrender. To really surrender. That's what faith is. That's faith. Is when you surrender. When you just listen. It's when you really release the reins. You know how like you riding a horse. Like when you really truly release the reins. You say, God, I've done everything I can think of. I've finagled everything I could finagle. I've done everything I know to do. I've prayed to you. I said, dear God, you know what I need. I'm in need. I need you to show up. I need a word from you. Once you've done all of that, that's it. Your part is done. Your part is done. Your part is done. And that's it. You get like you're praying for your parents because their health is bad. Your mom might be in bad health. But once you've said your piece, that's it. And I need you to understand that your thoughts create your destiny. Your thoughts create your destiny. Your thoughts create your destiny. So if you trust and believe that things are going to work out for you, then they will. But you can't. Here's what happens. Some of you feel like things aren't working out in your favor because your car was repossessed, or because your relationship ended, or because your child ended up in jail, or because perhaps one of your children, God forbid, was killed or murdered, or because your child dropped out of school, or because your home is being foreclosed on, or because you're being evicted from your apartment. You're starting to think that because those things have occurred, that it's not working out in your favor. But do you understand that there are blessings in those tragedies. There's a lesson in every single thing. Your responsibility is to figure out what the lesson is. That's your sole responsibility. And every single thing that I've ever been through, that's the beauty of getting older. That's the beauty of getting older. You because you've been through some things, you learn how to function and move, and you learn to trust that you don't have to panic over every crisis that happens in your life, because it's like, oh, okay, I've seen this before. I don't know how it's going to pan out, but I know I'm going to be okay. I know I'm going to be okay. But there's a lesson in all of that. There's a lesson in all of those things. There was something else I was going to share with you guys. Wait a minute. I see something about a sale. Hold on. He sees something about a sale. Genevieve, you're ordering 2 books when I know. Something about the Cash App. What? Genevieve, inbox me your email address, and I'll send you the Cash App once I come off of here. Just inbox me your email address. You see how I did that good little brief little intermission? Because I saw that thing about that Cash App, that sale. Listen, I told y'all, the buzzwords to get my attention, the buzzwords to get my attention are sale, ordering, Cash App, books, purchase, buy. So that's my guide trying to work through you guys to me. You understand what I'm saying? Because listen, let me tell you something. I went to court today. Because remember when my car was impounded, however many weeks ago that was, they still issue you a ticket. So I had a ticket for the insurance that had elapsed, and I had a ticket because my registration was suspended. Because once you're driving around and you don't have car insurance, they notify the DMV, and the DMV pulls your registration. Okay. So anyway, I had to go to court today. That was at 3 o'clock. I went to court. And so, like I said, this is the beginning of the month. I done paid all my bills. Done paid them all. And I'm grateful. And you know why I'm grateful? Because I can reach back 6 months, 9 months, a year, 15 months, when all I wanted to be able to do was to be able to survive off of my work. I wanted to be able to pay my bills with my work. And I'm living that now. The things that I dreamed about, I'm living right now. And that can happen for you. That can happen for you. You have to trust. You have to take the first step. And I say to you guys all of the time, for every single step that you take for yourself, God takes 3 on your behalf. For every single step that you take for yourself, God takes 3 more on your behalf. I believe that's a quote in my 3rd book. So much to say a book of quotes. I believe it's in there. But anyway, so I went to court, and I kept saying to myself, I don't know what they're going to say in here today. I done paid my bills today. Good luck and good night with these tickets. But guess what? I said to myself, you got a cabinet full of books. All you got to do is move those books. Just sell them. And then I got a message today from Charlotte Garner up there in Baltimore. And I posted it before this video. And she messaged me and said, this is my interview in California. They just messaged me on Skype. She messaged me and said, hey, now mind you, I have never seen Charlotte. How did I figure what, Kathy? How did I figure what? She messaged me. Charlotte messaged me in here today. And I've never seen her name come up in here. I've never seen her in here. And that's what I'm saying. You never know who you're reaching. You never know who you're touching. And she inboxed me because I was going through the video from yesterday. And she messaged in there and said, hey, I'm interested in buying your books, da-da-da-da. So I always go through the comments, and I messaged her and said, hey there, I saw that you wanted to purchase the books. You know, are you familiar with the Cash App, da-da-da-da. So she messaged me, and I posted her message right before this video. And she said to me, we love watching you. I'm a Muslim woman. She said, I'm a Muslim woman. She said, and I'm in a women's group. It's 50 of us. And we want to support everything you do. We want to get your books. But see, that's the power of trusting. That's the power of trusting. I'm only giving you the examples that apply to my life. I've written books, so that's how the blessings show up for me. It shows up in good health. It shows up, in a myriad of ways, good friendships. So what I'm saying to you is, you may not have written a book, but when you put out positive energy and you trust that things are going to work out in your favor, on your behalf, it will show up as a promotion on your job. It will show up as a new job. It will show up as a scholarship to your education that you're trying to go back and fulfill. It will manifest in your life. This lady said to me, Charlotte Garner, hey boy, hey girl, hey, there she is. Hey girl, hey Charlotte, I'm giving my testimony about you. And like I said, I've never seen her before today in these comments. And she said to me, we love watching you. We watch your videos at 9 o'clock. And she said, it's 50 of us. It's a women's group. And we want to support everything that you do. We want to support everything you do. So the point of me saying all of this is, when you are on course, when you are living on purpose, and you are following your passion, whatever that is, the universe has no option but to respond to you in your behalf. When you're doing your part, and you're trusting God, and you're listening to your instincts, your conscience, the universe has to respond in your favor. It has to reward you. All right, my interview is about to start. Let me message them. All right. Are you guys going to listen? All right. I'm ready. Are you guys going to listen to the interview, or what you guys going to do? I need something to prop up this computer. I think that's probably good right there. Let me get some water. I'm a little parched. Oh, this is the other thing that I wanted to say before this interview starts, okay? I personally believe, and I try to give you every single thing that I've ever learned about life. And that's what this book that I'm writing now is about, Book of Jewels. I try to give you every single bit of the things that I've learned, because I think life is really about sharing what you've learned, because the lessons aren't just for you. Whatever it is that you're going through, whether it's cancer, whether it's a child, like a child that has behavioral problems, whatever it is, those lessons aren't just for you. The lesson is for whoever you make privy to that information, right? So the things that I've learned, I try my best to try to share with as many people as I can. This was long before I started doing Facebook Live videos. Like the people in my life, like my friends, people used to say to me, oh my God, you're so open about your stuff. Like, why do you share so much? Because I've always felt on some level that the lessons aren't just for me. It's for whomever. But what I personally believe, and I believe this for some time, I believe that we all have purpose, and I believe we all have passion. Some people haven't figured out what their passion is. But we all have passion. But when you've determined what your passion is and what your purpose in life is, every single day that you're not moving in the direction of your passion, every single day that you're not moving in the direction of your purpose, you die a bit. I'm going to say it again. I believe that we all have purpose and passion. But every single day that you are not moving in the direction of your passion, every single day that you're not living in your purpose, your spirit, your soul dies a bit. It dies a bit. So every day that you're alive, you should be moving towards your passion. And I don't mean treating yourself to manicures and hair salon appointments and getting your hair cut. That's not what I'm talking about. We can all treat ourselves to great things. I'm talking about living with purpose and on purpose. When you're shaping the world, because the world should be slightly altered, should be different because you lived. The world should be different because you lived. So get to work. Get to work. Run towards your dreams. Run to your dreams. I'm just waiting for them to call. They're supposed to be calling me in like 2 minutes. So you should be able to hear them because it's on Skype. Let me get my lips together. You are welcome, Hope. You are welcome, all of you. I'm going to look back at these. I'm going to look at the comments. You know, I go back and look at the video. And so I will look at them. Let me just make sure this is together. All right. Are you calling? Yeah, am I typing? Or should I? So while we're waiting for this, Kiop, you said your brother took your so look, Kiop ordered the first book the other day, guys, and he got the book on Friday, right? And so he was inboxing me earlier, and he said that his brother took his copy of my first book, and he's halfway done. He said he took his book, and he said, I can't even get my books back. Here we go. Y'all ready? Come on, pen pals. This is our first interview together. Oh.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Craig. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? I can't see you, though.
Oh, no, because we have it on audio because it comes out better.
Oh, okay. So should I turn my camera off or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter because you actually sound really good.
You can see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Well, you don't need to see me if I can't see you.
I was just about to say. Miss Free. Craig, Miss Free.
Hi, Free. It's Free, right? Free?
Yes.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yes. Nice to meet you too.
She said Miss Free.
Miss Free.
Oh, Miss Free. Oh, my apologies. Miss Free.
Right.
Miss Free, my apology.
It's all good. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. And this is Blaze Entertainment, right?
That's right. Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Awesome. So, we're gonna do before we even start the show, we kind of go through the spiel with everyone that join or that comes on as a guest. So Miss Free and I will start off the show. We'll kind of do a little bit of banter, and then we'll introduce you onto the show. And then it's pretty much all about you. What separates this particular show from the rest of our shows that we do is that it's a spotlight on the guest. So it's all about you, what you do, and why you do it. And so it gives people an opportunity to kind of, talk about what they do, promote their work, and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
Yeah, have at it.
All right.
And then the next thing is that my first question is that is there any questions that you don't want us to ask or stay away from?
No, not at all. I'm an open book, so I don't care what you ask me. That's fine.
And is there any questions that you want us to focus in on, or any subjects or topics that you want us to focus in on?
No, not at all. Let's just, make it happen.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then how do you want us to introduce you? Like,
Craig, the writer Stewart.
Craig, the writer Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Awesome. Yes. All right. So we're gonna mute you, and then we'll bring you on. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Everybody ready? You good? Okay, cool. Here we go.
All right.
What's going on, Blazers? We are back with another episode of Blaze Entertainment. I'm your host, Kwame, joined by the beautiful, the melanin proficient, the queen of Blaze, Miss Free. What's up, boo?
I'm good. Thinking about Wakanda.
Yes, Wakanda forever, all day.
Thinking about maybe going on vacation there.
You know, I think that's possible.
Yes.
You know, why not? I think that M'Baku should be my date. Because he seems really rough.
You was talking about T'Challa 2 seconds ago.
First of all, T'Challa.
You can't.
See, he gets real hot and bothered. I can't even talk.
Right. So
He's my husband. Okay? So that's first and foremost. But we're not going to go there. It's not about us. Today, it is about the handsome, the incomparable, the amazing Craig, the writer Stewart. What's going on, Craig?
Hey, hey, hey. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressors, and dreamers. How are you?
Yes, come on.
Y'all crazy.
Oh, you have no idea. So what brings you to these parts of town, sir? What's going on with you? How are things?
Things are amazing. I'm in LA because I had a signing. I just launched my third book. I just released my third book. It's called So Much to Say, a book of quotes. But my first two books, it's a 2-part memoir series. The first is Words Never Spoken, a memoir. The second book is One Thing for Certain, Two Things for Sure.
Awesome. Look at you. You're just doing things
Well,
out here in the streets.
Gotta make moves, right? Gotta make moves.
Right. Gotta make this point.
And look, and change lives.
Yeah, that's true. Amen. And for those who, for our Blazers, our audience, and for those who don't know who you are, tell us who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
I'm a writer, and I don't identify just as an author because when I began my career as a writer, I started off writing music. I thought that was all that I could do, and I thought that was all I wanted to do was write music. And so when I started in this thing, I was writing with and for producers that you all would know, producers that have had songs on radio, producers that have placed songs on artists' albums. And so I did that for a while, but because my personal life kind of intercepted my professional life, I started writing a stage play called A Day in the Life. And that play was born out of a relationship that I had. The very first man that I fell in love with was HIV positive. And it was pretty much a nightmare for me at that time. Because it was all, I think we have this idea, I identify as a black gay man, but I think we all have an idea of what gay means and what gay looks like when we come into this community. And I don't use the word lifestyle, so I intentionally use the word community because lifestyle kind of denotes it's a choice, it's a decision. And I just believe that being gay is a part of who you are, it's a part of how you're wired. So when I came in this community, I had a very set idea of what it looked like and what it meant what it meant to be gay. And so HIV was weaved into the fabric of my imagination, if you will. And so I kind of thought that, well, that's kind of part and parcel of being gay. And so it was really a fear of mine to interact with someone that was HIV positive, become HIV positive. So like those were all fears of mine. And so I ended up, because of that relationship, I ended up writing and producing a stage play called A Day in the Life. That show sold out. It flopped 2 times after that, but then it sold out again. But during the times that it flopped, I experienced a depression. And that depression, one of the side effects of my depression was meeting and having sex with people that I did not know. I was having casual sex. It was internet, cyberspace hookups, if you will. It was anonymous sex. And I understand that depression affects people differently. Some people, they overeat. Some people become alcoholics. Some people use drugs, whatever it is. Some people go on shopping binges. So I understand now how my depression played out. But I write about all of those things in my first 2 books. And then even how I came out of that depression. But again, the original point is I identify as a writer because I started off writing music. It became a stage play. And then I founded a greeting card company. And now I'm writing and promoting books, which I never imagined would happen.
Amen. I resonated with you when you were talking about how, during your relationship, and and you having those issues, and going through that kind of dark time, that you manifested artwork, and you manifested, greatness actually from it. And I resonated with that because, I'm a dancer, and so a lot of my best choreography came from painful times in my life. And so kudos to you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. So so I just try to use my gifts to reach, teach, and heal myself, but then also other people.
Amen. And so my next question to you was going to be, how now you have a podcast as well, right?
I do.
You're not just like new to the game.
I do host a podcast. My podcast is called So Much to Say. It's of course in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play. But So Much to Say, the germ of the idea came from my desire to be able to reach and connect with people on a consistent basis. You know what I'm saying? Because my first book, Words Never Spoken, came out in 2012. The second book was 3 years after that. And then the third book just came out this past December 2017. And so between those times that I released these books, I had a lot of people saying to me, well, what's next? What are you doing next? And I realized that people get excited and they want to hear more from you. So I decided that I would create and start a podcast because it would be a way for me to connect with people on a weekly basis. So every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I drop a new podcast. And again, it's called So Much to Say. We talk about black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. You know what I mean? So we talk about everything from gentrification all the way down to the double standard of bisexuality and bipolar disorder. We talk about everything. And it's free. The podcast is free.
Right on.
Yeah.
And what led you to podcasting? Like in terms of because I know that some people just like to be guests on podcasts. Some people because you produce your podcast as well, correct?
Yeah, I do. I produce my podcast, I host it, and I edit. I do the editing as well.
You do all of it.
I do all. Yeah, listen, we're building a brand over here. But no, I believe that there are markers in life, and I speak often about this book called The Alchemist. You may have heard it, you may have read it, and in that book, it's not one of those books where you have to be ready to receive it. You have to be ready to receive the messages in this book, The Alchemist, because it's about a shepherd, and he's on this journey. And along this journey, he's on a journey, and the journey, of course, has a final destination. But along the journey, there are so many detours, and there's which most people could interpret as setbacks, where he fell off course. And life is that same way for each of us. We all are on this journey. And sometimes I know in points in my life, I felt like I was off course. I had to take a job that I really didn't want, and it didn't really feel like it was tied into my ultimate goals. But every single thing has purpose. Even when you don't understand it, every single thing has purpose. And so there were people in my life who kept saying to me, you should do a talk show. Oh my God, you're hilarious. Or, oh my God, your personality. I believe that God was sending, or the universe was sending these people my way. And God speaks to us through people. He speaks to us through people and through things. And he's always speaking, but we're not always listening. And so for a long time, my mom was probably the first person. She said, you should do a talk show. But when she said talk show, I was thinking like Oprah Winfrey, Montel Williams. I'm like, girl, you know what I mean? I'm like, you can't just go and do a talk show. What do you mean just go and do a talk show? And so then later, other people said, oh my God, you just need to be in front of the camera. Because again, I've always been a behind the scenes kind of person. I've always been a writer, a producer, that type of thing. And so several people who did not know each other. And I believe there's something really powerful about when two or more people say the same thing to you, and those people don't know each other, there has to be some truth to it. There has to be some truth to it. And so one of my friends said to me, she said, oh my God, when I was about to release my third book, which is a book of quotes, she said, I was reading some of the quotes to her, and she said, oh my God, like, Craig, like this needs to be, you need to host a podcast. And of course, at this point, podcasts are becoming brand new. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do no podcast. Like, that's not what I'm really interested in. That's not my lane. But because several people had said it to me back to back to back, I started to explore it. I'm like, okay, well, God, maybe you're trying to tell me something. Maybe you're trying to direct me. And so I started doing this podcast. In addition to doing the podcast, I started going on my Facebook Live Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I just talk about whatever's going on in my life. I talk about my work. I talk about whatever. And when I tell you thousands upon thousands of people watch this video by the time I come off of Facebook Live. And so I just believe that it's God's way of trying to expand my territory or enlarge my territory to bring attention to the work that I do through my personality. So yeah, people are interested in buying the books, but people will buy your books because they believe in who you are. They support you. They have to like you. Then they'll support your art. If they can like you, they'll support your art. And so I started making myself available in front of the camera. And then as a result of that, it's like, oh, people are like, oh, well, what else do? You have books? What are your books about? You know?
Interesting. Now, you said you produce as well, and I heard through the grapevine that you produce a particular person's show as well.
Yes, I worked with Brandy. I worked with Tweed. Yes.
Yes, and you also produce a very awesome person that I particularly love. TS Madison's
somebody has been doing their homework.
Yes, I do a little song.
Wait. So how did you know that? Because I really feel like I'm so behind the scenes on that. Like, it shocks me that people stop me now and it's like, oh my, they'll say, is you live, whore? Like, people will say that to me. And I'm just like, how do you know? How do you know about that? Because, I mean, I've only been in front of the camera at the Queen's Court a handful of times, if that.
So I can't reveal my sources.
Okay. But yes, I co-produce the Queen's Court podcast with TS Madison. So they have the Queen's Court live show, which is on Facebook. But then she was a guest on my podcast, so much to say. And so we just developed this friendship, but it was very organic because we didn't talk a lot initially. But then one day she reached out and said, hey, listen, I think I want to start a podcast. Would you help me do it? And she asked me, how much will you charge me to do it? And I just personally believe that we have to start lending our services sometimes to people. And I said, well, listen, I'm not going to charge you to tell you how to set it up for you. But then what happened was, once I set it up, she said, okay, well, you know I'm going to need it edited, right? You do your own, right? Can you? So then we started talking about, okay, well, you'll work with us and I'll pay you this to edit our podcast. But now it's become, I work with them behind the scenes for the live show as well, too. So we're just growing in the way that we work. Like, we work really well together, Madison and I. We bounce ideas off of each other. And we have a very similar vision for ourselves and the work that we want to put out, the work that we want to produce for the people. Like, we really do want to affect change, and we want to challenge the way people think. We want to challenge people's belief systems, because oftentimes you have this idea of what you think you know about life and the world and people. But when art hits you in the right kind of way, it really can challenge you to second guess what you think you believe.
Right.
So we have a beautiful relationship now.
I'm not even surprised to hear that, because I've heard great things about T.S. Madison, and I'm an avid fan of the Queen's Court, specifically T.S. Madison. So,
yeah.
Shout out to her, because I know one of our co-hosts on the After the Blaze podcast, which is our recap show, Hope Giselle is really good friends with her, and so and she speaks highly of T.S. Madison. So when I told her that I was like, one of her show's producers is going to be on that show. She's like, oh, can I be on the show? And I was like, no, girl, stop your But no, she's good people. But anyway, but yes, I wanted to ask you about that because, I know Miss Free and I, we talk heavily about, the growth of the show and how, Miss Free does a lot of awesome behind the scenes stuff. She's the reason why the show is what it is today.
Uh-huh.
So I resonated with that, and I wanted to know, how is it, producing, so much content and so much quality content, and I know just the editing process in and of itself is a full-time job, So
yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah. And to be able to do that, plus your show, and plus to continue to build your brand, how do you balance that?
Well, the thing that's so interesting is when Madison and I got together, she does the live show, the Queen's Supreme Court. It's actually going to be rebranded starting the 19th of this month. So it's going to be called the Queen's Supreme Court. So that show is on.
Exclusive.
So that's an exclusive. Yes, that's an exclusive. So starting on the 19th, it's going to be Queen's Supreme Court. But that show is on Mondays. My podcast, that's Monday night. My podcast drops Monday morning at 10. So they're 12 hours apart. And then the Queen's Supreme Court podcast drops on Friday mornings at 6 a.m. So it gives me enough time to be able to edit my podcast, edit the Queen's Supreme Court podcast, and still be over at the Queen's Court operating cameras and, whatever it is that I do over there. But in terms of me managing my book tour, because I just started a book tour for my third book, but of course, I always have copies of the first and second books as well. People always ask me that. Are you going to have copies of the first two books as well? I don't want just the third book, but I always have all three books with me. But because I just launched this book tour, I'm able to schedule that and route that around everything else that I have going on, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And then,
you better hustle.
Yeah. So and the thing is, when all of this is tied to my passion, and so when you're really moving within your passion, when you're really moving within your purpose, your life's work, your life purpose, it really doesn't feel overwhelming. And it's an old adage where people say, if you find your passion, then you'll never work a day in your life. And it's really true. It really is true. But the reality is and I was just sharing on my Facebook Live, I can literally reach back 6 months, 6 short months, where I was just hoping to be able to sustain financially off of my work. And I'm in that space now. So the days that I was once praying for, I'm living those days now. So I won't complain about that. I won't, you know what I'm saying? I won't complain about that because all I wanted to be able to do was to wake up and do what I love doing. I didn't want to have to get up and go to a job. And that's one of the things that I try to encourage anybody who follows the work that I do. Everybody is not built to be an entrepreneur. That's not what I'm saying. But everybody was put on this earth to follow their passion, to run to their dreams. But oftentimes we get distracted and we don't run to our dreams because, one, we're conditioned to go to a job. Like my mom, even when I first told my mom that I was a writer and I was moving here right after college, 2 days after college, I was going to be a writer. And she said to me, boy, you better go get you a job. That's a hobby. You better get you a job with a 401k. But guess who's my biggest fan now?
Right.
She's my biggest fan. And when you're talking about the arts, especially when you're talking about being a writer, people don't really acknowledge it as a legitimate type career until you start making money.
Right.
You know?
So I hear you talk a lot about passion and, finding your passion. So what kind of advice could you give to someone who is struggling to find their passion? You speak about hearing people say, the word speaking through, God speaking through people.
Mm-hmm.
So what advice would you give to someone who's struggling to find that passion?
I think that it really is about sitting still long enough and coming to terms with what you enjoy doing. Like, what would you do for free? What would you do for free? Like, what is the service that you would provide if you were not getting paid? Like, I'm writing a book now, and in this particular book that I'm writing now, there's a chapter called Passion, Fate, and Destiny. And I personally believe, I really do believe that every single person was born on this planet with a purpose. Even people with disabilities. I think every single person has a responsibility. But what happens is we're intimidated to chase our dream because we're so used to accepting a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks or every month. Some people have to have that check. Not everybody has that je ne sais quoi to follow their dream and not know when that next check is going to come. Not everybody has that. But there have been periods and points in my career as a writer where I was working full-time jobs. And I had great jobs. Like when I came out of college, my first job was for Coca-Cola. My job after Coca-Cola was MARTA, which is the transit system in Atlanta. Then I worked for Hewlett-Packard, IBM. Like I've always had great jobs. But I was always secretly plotting and planning what my next move was going to be. I was always trying to figure out how I was going to get to my dream, how I was going to get on course. Because for whatever reason, at 26, 28, 30, I always felt like I was off course whenever I was working a job that had nothing to do with my career. But I know now at 41 years old that every single thing has purpose. And so even when there were periods where writing became difficult or I felt frustrated because I wasn't making money or I was experiencing setbacks, I always found myself going back to it. Even when I said I would quit. Oh, I quit. I give up. I'm just going to go and get a job. I always found myself coming back to it. I would always gravitate back to it. Even after I promised myself I would give up. For me, writing was like that relationship that you know you need to walk away from, but you don't walk away because it's like it's so comfortable for you. That's what writing was for me. So whatever your passion is going to be, that thing.
Very interesting. You better go ahead and drop these gems.
Just be still and be quiet.
Right.
Yeah, you got to be still. You got to be still. Yes. And you have to ask for it. You really have to ask for it. I really believe in asking God or the universe, whatever your belief system is. You have to get centered. And because I personally believe that your instincts, that your conscience is your direct roadmap to God or the universe, whatever you call it. Don't get caught up in semantics. Some people may be atheists or agnostic, but the point is you have to get still long enough to listen to your inner spirit. That's your compass. That's your life compass to guide you. That life compass will tell you when it's time to leave a job. It'll tell you when it's time to leave a relationship. It'll tell you when it's time to let go of your children because you're doing too much. It'll let you know when it's time to move from one state to another because there's something that, like for me, when I moved to California, my first book, I wrote it living in California, but I had lived in Atlanta for 13 years. And for the last 3 years that I lived in Atlanta, my fear was telling me, you don't want to leave Atlanta. This is where you need to be. This is where you sold out your play. This is where you started your greeting card company. You cannot leave here. But my spirit, my instincts, my gut were all telling me, you need to go to LA. You need to be in LA. Now, looking back, I realized that I needed to be in LA because that's where my first book wanted to be born. That first book would have never been written had I not left Atlanta. But see, Atlanta was so comfortable for me because this is where I came right after college. And I knew most of my friends were here. It was a comfortable place for me to live.
Interesting. Wow. Are you still there, Greg?
I'm here.
Oh, that's a lot here. It's not a So with that being said, with everything that is going on, like you talked about like your spirit and moving according to the pull of your spirit, and I resonate with that tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
My question to you is like I know that like I said earlier, Blaze would not have been successful without me meeting, Miss Free and our connection that we personally have with each other. And so I'm very careful about who comes into our business and who works with us and stuff like that. So is that something that, because that's one of the things that I've been telling people who have been asking me, how did you start your podcast? What tips do you have for, me starting a show or whatever? And I tell them if they're going to have a co-host or a team or whatever, that it's not something that they need to have everybody join in on. Like, just because they're your friends doesn't mean that they need to be in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So my question to you would be, how would you discern who needs to be in your life and who doesn't, or not life, but rather your business and who doesn't?
Oh, wow. What's interesting is because I used to have that trouble in my personal life. In my personal life, in my dating life, I used to confuse a person's interest in me, with a person just gravitating to my light. I used to confuse a person being interested and wanting to be with me with, I'm just gravitating to his words. I'm gravitating to his mind, the way that he thinks, the way that he sees the world. I used to confuse the two. So basically, they didn't necessarily want to be with me or be in relationship with me or even know how to be in relationship with me. They were simply attracted to the glow, if that makes sense. Wow. And without sounding cocky or crazy.
No, that's amazing.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, and I just had this conversation with some friends just before this interview. I was saying to them, I've been single now 7 years. And I made peace with my singleness for now. Of course, I crave companionship. I'm not desperate for it. I'm not anxious for it. But I do crave it because I'm a human. And I think it's human nature to want to be with other people, to grow and to be loved and to give love. But I have become so focused on the work that I'm doing that I'm very clear that I'm not interested in another boyfriend. I've had boyfriends. I'm only interested in a partner. Because a partner has a life of their own. They're passionate about what they're interested in, what their life purpose is, what their life work is. And they're not trying to deter me or pull me from my work. You know what I mean? Like they can stand alone in the light. And I've literally had people say to me, and I'm only sharing this because I literally just had this conversation before I came on here. I have had people say to me, I could never date you because you're a public person. You're a public figure. But what I hear them saying is, your light is too bright for me.
Right.
I'm too insecure. And what I also hear them saying is, you're going to have to pacify me this entire relationship. Because I'm going to need you to keep reassuring me that you want to be with me, that I'm enough. And so I'm waiting for the partner. I'm waiting for the partner. So the same thing applies to business. Like I can always feel or tell when people want to attach themselves to the light, if you will. Like I shared with my Facebook Live people, I think last week, we live in a world of social media. So I get people messaging me on my Facebook, Instagram all the time saying, hey, I want you to help me write this book. I want us to write a project together. And it's like, well, you've never written a book. So basically you're asking me to do the work. You understand what I'm saying? Like you're asking me to do the work. And so, and I'm like, well, no, that's not really where I am. So I have no problem working with anyone. But I want to be able to work with people that have already started to lay the foundation for themselves, whatever that is.
Right.
People invest in you once you've already started investing in yourself.
Craig, thank you so much for that, because that was confirmation for me on something that was going on for a while. Because we have a very for those who don't know, like I'm also the managing producer of our network. Mm-hmm. And so we have a process for when, podcasts join the network. And right. So it's not, it's not just because you have a show or you want us to produce your show. Like we don't just want your money. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we do understand that, there's compensation that's needed for the work that we do in terms of, especially if we produce it. But at the same time, we can easily just have everybody that wants to have a show and wants to pay for it, but that's not what we do. And so we have this really kind of vigorous process in terms of, like, you go through an interview, you go through this, and, you talk, you let us know what your show is about or what you want your show to be about. It's a vigorous process that goes through it, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time.
Right.
And so I've seen, one of the reasons why we did that is because, we wanted to make sure that there was not, first of all, we wanted to weed out the ones that just wanted us to do all the work for them. And then also, because it's not our vision. Your show is your show.
Yeah.
We're just here to help set a platform for it and set it up. And then also, too, it also lets us know if it's going to be a right fit. Because you can have great content. You can pull a lot of, thousands of people to the network. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we want that to be a part of the network. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just because it's not necessarily that you align with what our goals and aspirations are for the network. And so, like, you just gave me confirmation that that's okay.
It
that's
is.
okay to be not stringent. You know what I mean?
And let me tell you, I'll give you two quick examples. Like, someone reached out to me yesterday. I think she's a publicist, and she reached out to me and said, "Hey, I have an author. She just wrote a book about depression, and I wanted to see if you're still accepting guests for your podcast. I would love for you to bring her on and interview her, but that's not what I do. That's not what So Much to Say is about. On So Much to Say, we talk about black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. So we talk about a variety of subjects, as I said to you before. I'm not on there interviewing you about your book. Now you can come on and talk about depression, and we can plug your book, but this is a conversation. Like, I'm not here to talk about your writing process and what you do. So you have to know what your lane is. You have to know what your vision is, and you have to know what your parameters are. And the other piece that I was going to say to that was, many years ago, you may have heard this story. Many years ago, when Oprah Winfrey was doing her talk show, the Oprah Winfrey Show, she got a lot of flack. When her show really started to take off and become a household name, she got a lot of flack from black folks. Because black folks felt like her show catered to white people. Now, what I will say to you is, her show didn't cater to white people. Her show catered to a class of people. Now, her majority audience may have been stay-at-home white moms, but the show itself was for a class of people. And so what happened was, she got all of this criticism from black viewers, and they would say, well, your show is so white. Why is it white? And da-da-da. And so I remember seeing an interview with her, and she said she had a conversation with Sidney Poitier and the one that was just out here talking about Marlon Brando and Richard Pryor sleeping together and Marvin Gaye. Quincy Jones. Right. So they were at Quincy Jones's house, and she was crying. She was upset because she was getting all of this negative criticism from the black community about the show being too white. And she was crying, and Sidney Poitier said to her, and this is what I take for myself, I carry this with me. He said to her, whenever you're carrying the dreams of people, they expect for you to take the dream in the direction that they want it to go, because they're living vicariously through you. But you are the master of your dream. This is your dream. So you get to decide where it goes. People don't get to tell you where it goes. Like, I've had people tell me, oh, well, with your stage play, why didn't you have this character do this? First of all, this was my vision. This is what I sat down to create. If you want your characters to do that, then you write that show and let the characters do that. Listen, if you want a talk show, if you want a talk show to cater to black people only, then you do that talk show. But you don't get to tell me what to do with my show. I've had people tell me how to promote my books. And I've said this openly before. My first book, I promoted primarily on Jack'd, which is a gay social media app or gay hookup site, however you want to call it. But I have sold more books on Jack'd than I did on Amazon. And when I tell you there were guys that would message me on there, the majority of them got it. And they would say they understood the strategy. And they were like, oh my God, this was genius that you had this promotion on here. Because I had a YouTube link on my Jack page that took you to my YouTube channel. and where I'm reading a section from the book where I talk about the depression and where I was meeting guys that I didn't know and having sex. So they connected with that. But then there was a small crop of guys who would say, what you doing on here selling your books on Jack? This ain't Barnes & Noble. I came on here for sex. I didn't come on here to buy no book. Or then you had the ones that said, this is a poor idea. You ain't going to make no money on here. Ain't nobody on here buying no books. And I said, well, I'm glad you are the marketing aficionado, because actually, I have sold more books on here than I have on Amazon. And I said, and I have the invoices to prove it. I said, but when you write your book, you get to decide where you promote your book. But this is mine. But thank you for your unsolicited advice. You know, you got to get the children together from time to time.
Right. You gotta let these little children know.
Yes. But you have to stay focused on your vision. Blaze Entertainment has a vision. And so you can't allow people to distract you and pull you in other directions, because then that's no longer your vision. That's theirs. And even as a writer, I get people saying to me all the time, well, when are you going to write a book about this? Girl, that's not what I'm writing. You don't get to curate what I write.
Right.
You don't get to curate what I write.
It's funny you said that, because when we first started, we and we're still very much, focused on the Black perspective, and whether it be pop culture, politics, or just everyday life and buckery. We speak on it from a Black perspective, and when we first started, a lot of people who were in the podcast community were like, oh, you're gonna turn your audience off, or you're gonna close your group off to just people of color. And I was like, it's just too much cussing. You cuss too much. And it's funny because those same people are still having really low downloads, and we started out really strong. And so and it's no shade to them. It's just we stayed true to who we were.
Exactly.
Right. We minded our damn business.
Yes.
And kept doing us.
And you have to. And the thing that's so interesting is the people that are always giving you the advices are the people that haven't even ever tried anything.
Right.
You have, so you've done a podcast. How are you an expert on this?
Right.
I'm just trying to figure out how you know what's best for me.
Where's your resume?
Right. What have you done?
Right. I remember one time I went to Miss Freed. I was like, Miss Freed, so this is what I heard from so and so and so and so. And she was like, well, I'm a grown ass woman, and I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Right. Well, Craig, thank you so much. I wish we could stay on the phone forever, because you have so many gems, and you're such a wise person. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to chill with us. Very humbly appreciated. So thank you so much for joining us on the show.
You're most welcome. Thank you so very much for having me, because you've allowed me to reach another segment of people. So I appreciate that anytime.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
Before we let you go, for those who may not, know who you are, which I don't know how you don't. But for those who don't know who you are, where can they find you? Give us your website, social media, etc.
The website is www.craigthewriterstewart.com, and my Facebook and Instagram are both at Craig the Writer Stewart. So it's at Craig the Writer Stewart across all social media platforms. And of course, the podcast is called So Much to Say. And again, we are available for free in Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, wherever you can listen to a podcast. And we drop a new show every single Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, you better go ahead and have that script ready.
Listen, I've said it enough, right?
Right. Thank you guys so much. And don't forget, you guys, that you can go ahead and check out this interview as well as others and other Spotlight Edition episodes on www.entertheblaze.com. Don't forget to check out our sister podcast with Hope Giselle and 50 Shades of Gay, which is the After the Blaze podcast. And most importantly, don't forget our mother network, PowerMediaNetwork.com, where you can find all types of next level awesome shows and episodes by the fabulous, awesome shows that we have that are coming on, that have been on, and that are working to build this great brand that we call Power Media. So definitely check them out by going to www.powermedianetwork.com. And without further ado, Miss Free, do you have anything else?
No.
All right, Blazers, we are out.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thanks, Craig.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss. Look, thank you, Miss Free. Listen, are you guys on? Tell me what your Instagram is, or if you just follow me, I'll follow you right back. Mine is @Craig the Writer Stewart. I would love for us to stay in touch.
Of course, yeah. I think I have you on Facebook. You and I are friends on Facebook.
Yeah, we're friends on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we're following each other on IG, but it's Cyrus 369. Cyrus SYRIS.
Okay.
And Miss Free is Miss E Free 23.
Miss E Free.
Mm-hmm,
Now, Miss Free, I'm gonna follow you, girl. Now let me follow you, and I don't see you follow me back here.
I will follow you back. I'm trying to be good. On social media, I'll check again.
Miss.
I will follow you back.
All right, Miss E Free 23.
Yes. And then Blaze Entertainment's social media, or IG rather, is Enter the Blaze. You can find it's all Enter the Blaze at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Okay. All right, sounds good. And let me know when this interview. Okay, and let me know when this interview drops, and I'll be sure to share it on my social media too.
For sure. And then I think Marisol has your press kit, so she's going to make sure that all of the when we air it, and I don't know if it's going to air next week. It may air the week after.
Okay.
Which I think, hold on, that might be in time for. Let's see here. Just want to make sure the timing's correct. Yes. So it may not air. It may air this week or next week. We'll have to see, because if it's going to be on the 19th, then we don't want to. We want to make sure that we pump up TS Madison stuff too, because that was like.
Oh yes, perfect. Perfect.
Next week, so we'll let you know. But as soon as it airs, you will get tagged in all of the social medias. Do you have a Twitter as well?
Yeah, it's @TheRealCStewart.
You know, that's a better platform.
Twitter?
Yeah.
For you? Yeah. Oh yeah. So Miss Free is more active on Twitter than she is on IG. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So, I'm the opposite. I've actually just recently moved over from Twitter to IG. So yeah, I do more on myself on it. But yeah.
Cyrus, I appreciate you.
Awesome. Thanks, Craig. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. Thank you both.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
We're all done, people. Where the cocktails? Who had cocktails? Y'all had cocktails without me? Y'all had cocktails without me. Really? That's what y'all gonna do? Cheers. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate that. So yeah, so that was a Skype interview. Sometimes they're over the phone, sometimes they're in person, and I'm in the studio, but they're in Los Angeles. So when I did my signing, I hate when people call me back to back like that. Like if I send you to the voicemail, that means I'm on the phone. Kiop, don't be worrying about who got Cash App. You send your Cash App through here. But no, Kiop, you also asked me if I was getting paid for that interview. No, it wasn't a paid interview, but it's important to do some things for free. And that is one of those things that you want to do for free. All press can grow you and can expand you. So, it's always good to do, because their audience is California. So hopefully that interview will draw some more pen pals. They'll come in here. they'll support the books. You know what I mean? So like you always want to be able to plant your seeds wherever you can plant your seeds. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Tiffany. All of you who said congratulations and you were awesome. I appreciate it. I really do. But yeah, so they're in California. So hopefully we'll get more readers in the California area. Another bookathon? Is that what you're saying, Amy? Did you want to start it off? Sometimes the press is good press. Yes, LaShayla. Yes, Lynette. Whenever you help people, it always comes back. It always comes back. But you don't do it for the purpose of expectation. You don't do it for the purpose of reciprocity. You do it for the purpose of just putting positive energy into the world. Right? You're welcome, Wisdom. Wisdom, we got to set a date for Jacksonville, okay? Now, I have to come to Jacksonville. So we're going to work on a date. She did ask me something. What did she ask me? The co-host, she asked me something about how do you find your passion? How do you know if it's your passion? That's what she asked me. But yeah, he pretty much led the interview. But that's fine. You know, you see I'm a talker, so I'm gonna hit the points. I'm going to say what I need to say. But anyway, so listen, don't forget, tomorrow at 9 p.m. sharp, Mike and I, you guys know Mike. Mike and I are going to do a Facebook Live tomorrow at 9 p.m. We're going to be talking about depression. We're going to be talking about suicide. We're going to be talking about his suicide attempt. We're going to talk about an 18-year-old girl that he knows or knew who committed suicide. So I want you to be front and center. I want you guys to listen. I want you guys to hear it. Now, I've never had personal experiences with suicide, but it is definitely it's definitely something that has increased, especially in minority communities, not just black folks, but Hispanic people of color. Period. You're welcome, Lamisha. Thank you, Lamisha. I appreciate that. So listen, tomorrow, now I know suicide sounds like a depressing and down type of subject, but it's not. We're not going to make it like that. Like, it's going to be an interesting conversation. We're going to engage you guys. We're gonna try to answer as many of your questions and things like that while we're talking. But yeah, Kiop, he was talking the entire time. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get to Mike tomorrow, probably about 8:30, 8:45, so we can set up everything so that we can both be on the camera. You can see us comfortably, and so we can read your questions as we're going along, that kind of thing. So we want as many people as possible to watch this one tomorrow, because what I'm thinking is if he and I create magic tomorrow, he and I will do like a monthly type thing where we'll talk about different things. Tomorrow will be suicide, and then maybe another time we'll talk about relationships. But we have to figure out what piece of relationship we're going to talk about. We're going to take suggestions from you guys as well. Jacobia, send me a Cash App. He talking about purchase, but he knows how to catch my eye. You know, my eyes hone in on certain words. Yes, Curtis, it's a real conversation. So I really want you guys to be here tomorrow. And even if you can't be here tomorrow at 9, you know the video goes up and you can watch it at some point. But hopefully you guys can be here front and center. I'm going to tag Mike on the video, so his Facebook friends and followers will be pulled in as well. So hopefully get here early, because we're expecting a sellout. We're in a new building and everything, but we're going to have a lot of seats that are going to be taken, because you know we can be preaching in here tomorrow, talking about suicide and things, you know. So yes, Lynette, I think it's definitely, and I think that loneliness, like I said, we're going to talk about suicide, depression, loneliness, And then we're going to talk about his personal account and this young lady's personal account. But she actually committed suicide, so she's no longer here. Her mom is supposed to be in here as well. I'm going to put together like a little flyer to post up here. And her mom is going to share it. And so she's going to be in here as well. But I want to try to create like a weekly type thing. A monthly type thing where he and I come together on camera and talk about a really pressing issue. And I'm also going to have the microphone there as well because I'm going to record it as a podcast. So it will also stream because, of course, the people everybody that listens to the podcast isn't necessarily on the Facebook Live. So we're going to have that as well. But so I just wanted to say that it's 10 after 11. You guys have an amazing night. If you're interested in purchasing any of my books, one book is $20. 2 books is $36. 3 books is $54. That makes them $18 each. Yes, Leela, those are the key words, baby. Those are the key words, baby. I'd stop dead in my tracks and focus on what you're talking about. Glenda said don't move her sweater. She's leaving her sweater in here tonight for tomorrow. So she's already reserved her seats. Who else is reserving seats? I think we got a reserved seat for Theodore. Since he gifted those books the other day, I'm going to go ahead and gift him a chair right here. Thank you, Amy. We're going to go ahead and put a chair right there for, we're going to reserve a chair for Crystal Hairston, one for Tiffany Smith Bell, Shakika, Angela Twyman. We're going to hold a chair for Stacy Mallory, Deanna, okay, Carnassus, Susan Fierro. My girl Susan definitely got to get a chair. And where are my ladies with heavy ankles? We got a row for the ladies with the heavy ankles. Where are the ladies with the heavy ankles? Larry D. Reed, listen, we're going to charge you to come in here. You ain't set up no interview with me yet. I've been trying to come on the Larry D. Reed show. We're going to charge Larry $25 to come in here tomorrow. Marcika, we have a chair for her. We have a chair for Lolita. Okay, Ewing is going to be the waterman. Renee, did you get your book today? Bridget, we have a chair for Bridget. Renee. Oh, we got one for Amy, too. We're going to put Amy in the back, though, like they put Rosa Parks in the back. Put Amy in the back. So, just so you don't think that this is racist, we're going to move Tanya Disick to the front row. So I don't want nobody screaming and shouting that I'm racist. Put Amy in the back with them black man's lips and put Tanya Disick up in the front. Kimberly Sands, we have a chair for her. Okay, so listen, we're going to have reserved seating tomorrow. Susan Brown, love you too, Susan. Have a great night. Have an amazing night. Oh, with my girl, Charlotte Garner. We have a seat for Charlotte Garner. Yes, come on, Charlotte Garner. We have a seat for Charlotte Garner. She purchased her books today through the Cash App. She's going to get all her sisters in that group up there. And in Baltimore, her Muslim sisters. I appreciate that. I really do. And it just shows, it just proves that these stories that I tell and these stories that I've written are universal stories. Because we have people of all faiths coming in, people of all races, of all ages, and I appreciate that. Yeah, Larry owes back pay, Curtis. Give Curtis a seat over here for catching Larry trying to backslide with the money. There's no smoking. Lisa Renee, we need a chair for Lisa Renee. Renee, would you please post a picture of your book? If you received your books today, or if you received books, please take a picture and tag me. Even if I'm not your Facebook friend, because you know Facebook only give you 5,000 friends. But just tag me, and I'll see it, and I'll comment on it, and I'll like it, or whatever I have to do. Lynette, yes, I can't wait for you to come tomorrow. Give Lynette a seat, please. Now listen, if it's going to be raining tomorrow, please, there's an umbrella check, and there's a coat check for these galoshes and these rain boots and these raincoats. You have to bring cash. We are no longer accepting these faulty rush cards. There was a problem with the rush cards last week. You know, a lot of people in here, they have bad credit. And so they had these rush cards because, it was, the rush card kind of forgave people who had horrible credit. So they came in here with these rush cards and they weren't working. So we're not accepting rush cards. Okay. So please have cash for the raincoats and things that you guys are putting. Listen, we have tissue, we have regular Kleenex, and we have the Kleenex that has Vaseline. Vaseline. That's how old people say Vaseline, like it's a Z. And we have the Kleenex with Vaseline. Okay? So if you think you're gonna need Kleenex tomorrow, let's see, Tanya Disick, see, that's a little white lady out there in Oregon. That's a little rich white lady out in Oregon. Tanya Disick asked, what is a rush card? Can somebody please tell her what that is? Or instruct her to go on over to google.com. She don't even know what a rush card is. And we're going to need you to turn off your Celica devices tomorrow, not cell phones. We're going to need you to turn off your Celica devices tomorrow because we're going to have a real intense conversation. Have your wine and whatever. Mike and I are going to be drinking on red wine. Okay? Yes, Curtis, please. Don't be tracking that water up in here. We just got new carpeting and flooring. Please, dry your feet off at the mat. This is not your home. Don't come in here tracking all that mud and water and shit in here. Curtis, they be the ones that's carrying on. The ones that don't even want to pay. They be the ones. Let me get me a stick of this gum. I said I was about to get off of here. Somebody explain to Amy said she's going to sleep. Amy, make sure you brush your teeth and floss your teeth and brush your tongue here. She was with Calvin this weekend. She may have been slobbing on his knob. Amy, I'm going to need you to brush your teeth. Amy, make sure you brush your teeth and brush your tongue because she may have been sucking dick. She may have been sucking dick this weekend. She was with Calvin. Amy dates black men. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she dates black men, so he may have slid his dick in her mouth this weekend. So I'm gonna need her to make sure she brush her tongue. I'm gonna need her to go ahead and brush her tongue. I'm going to get my hair cut tomorrow. I'm gonna look like a new person. Oh, child, she acting like she sucked his dick because it's his birthday. Put your earphones on. If you got children around, put your earphones on. I feel a greasy spirit coming on. So she wants me to believe. Let me turn around this way. Thank you, Curtis. Please be on floor duty tomorrow. So Amy wants me to believe. She wants all of us to believe that the only reason she sucked that man's dick is because it was his birthday. Like she don't suck his dick on a regular Tuesday. She can suck his dick on St. Patrick's Day. It could be Cinco de Mayo. She's sucking that man's dick. She trying to act like she only sucked his dick because it was his birthday. Who she think she fooling? Who does she think she fooling? She wake up like a... She wake up ready. Oh, she suck his dick all the time. They riding to the drive-thru. She sucking dick. Ma'am, did you want a double cheeseburger? Can you come up for a second? Was that a double cheeseburger and a strawberry shake? Oh, you do like milkshakes. Because I see what you over there doing. Ma'am, what you having tonight? You ain't got a lot to kick it. Every day is his birthday. Folk trying to reach me on FaceTime. I'm talking. Listen, get you some chewing gum or something and at least wash that down, rinse that out. Richard Outing, I said early in the beginning of the video, I don't know if you were in here, but thank you for purchasing your books today. I really appreciate it. I already thanked Charlotte Garner. Keop is trying to situate his debit card. Lift my arm up and tap it. What you talking about? Marsica, this gum is good. This ain't my favorite gum, I showed y'all my favorite gum. It was like a blackberry something. But this one is like a watermelon twist. Or sweet watermelon it's called. This gum is good. But I'm going to get my hair cut tomorrow at 12:30 because Mike and I, Susan, you said Susan Brown, because I know we have a Susan Fierro too. Susan Brown, you said you were going to bed 15 minutes ago. She's still in here laughing and giggling. Girl, turn your light off and your TV. She's still sitting here giggling and shit. She giggling. I'm going to get my hair cut tomorrow because we're going to be on here Facebook Live. Now, I know y'all know what I look like when I got... I know y'all know what I look like when I don't have a haircut, but, you know, Mike's people going to be on here, too. Here, Marsica. Here, girl. She like one of them little 13-year-old... No. She like one of them little 8-year-olds that be standing in front of you when you eating candy or something, and they just stand there looking at you like that. And they hoping you going to say, can I have some? They hoping you going to say, here, you want some? Here, Marsica, here. Take a piece of this gum. Tiffany, you need to go ahead and get through 7 seconds. That's a good show. I finished it the other day. I don't know how they're going to. I'm not going to talk about it. Well, how am I supposed to do it, Amy? I don't know. Carnassus, I posted pictures of me in swimming trunks. It's on my Facebook story. It's on my Facebook page. It's on my Instagram. I'm not going to talk about 7 seconds. I'm not going to tell you about what you know. But the way that it ends, Tiffany, it makes you wonder if they're going to start with a whole new cast for the second season, or if they're going to pick up with the story. You know what I'm saying, Leela? Like you saw it, Leela. Yes, John Trina. I did watch The Shy. I got one more episode. I gotta catch up on one more, but I was two episodes behind. 7 seconds was really good. But remember how it ended, guys. Remember? And so it makes you wonder, well, what are they going to do for the second season? And I don't know when that's going to be because, you know, it might take a year for them to put a second season up there. I don't know what they're going to do. But in the meantime... Girl, I don't know how to do it. Well, that's what I was thinking too, Leela. I was thinking they probably going to do a whole new cast. Or this is what I was really thinking. I don't know if you've ever watched American Crime. I didn't really get into it. But what I was thinking was they were going to maybe keep the cast and just tell a whole different story. And they would just play different parts. It would be the same actors, but it will be a different storyline and a different setup. I don't know what they're going to do. Or if the second season is just going to be a whole new scenario that lasts 10 episodes like the first one did. So maybe it'll just be a whole different scenario. I don't know. But whatever, the shit was good. Right. Like, see, Leela, I didn't want to say that because I was wondering if they were going to bring the cops on trial on the second season. That's what I'm thinking they're going to do. I personally want them to pick up with that. Because they still have to sentence them. Oh, shit, I bit the shit out of my lip. That's when that gum gets good. Oh, Datis, we got a seat for Datis. Well, wait a minute, Datis. Datis has the flu. We might need to sequester her. Datis, if you're not feeling better tomorrow, we might need you to watch from home. From the monitor. Amy, I did watch Orange is the New Black, but I stopped after the 4th season. To me, it just got... I know, that's why I bit my lip. For me, Orange is the New Black got slow after the 4th season. Like, I got tired of them being in jail, and I don't know, it was just too... It just got... I don't know. So I stopped watching it after the 4th season, but I was into it, like them first 3 seasons. But I'm going to tell you when it really started to change for me, Orange is the New Black on Netflix, was when, what was her name on the show? When she got killed. Poussey? Her name was Poussey. She was the lesbian, the black girl that was dating the Asian girl. Poussey, when Poussey got killed, she like got her neck broken or something. And so I didn't really like it after. Yes, when Poussey died, Glenda. When she died, that's when it kind of changed for me. Like, I didn't really like it much after that. I've never seen What Happened to Monday. I've never seen. Yeah, she got suffocated. I thought her neck got broken or something. But yeah, when she died, it just kind of. I was like, okay, where are they going with this? I've never seen What Happened to Monday. I've never heard of The Punisher. Okay, Dati says she's going to watch from home because she got the flu. Ain't nobody trying to get that, okay? I got a book tour I'm trying to plan. I got to get to Texas. I got to get to Houston. Leela, what am I going to do? What you want me to post the words on here? I don't know. How you want me to do it? When I give y'all these words, y'all supposed to write them down on a list. And then y'all supposed to go over them and read over them so that they can just get incorporated into your vocabulary. Like I was telling you how I learned in college. Whenever I would hear words that I didn't know, or I would read a book and I came across a word that I didn't know, I would look up the synonym and then I would put it on a list and I would just read over it every night before I went to bed. I would read over it every night before I went to bed, but I would put a synonym for the word next to it. But the synonym would be a word that I knew. So, like, for example, like if I had the word coy, C-O-Y, I would put clever right beside it. So then when I read the list, I already knew that coy meant clever. And so I would just go down my list and I would read it. And before I knew it, I knew them words. They would just come out just like that. Okay, wait. What show is Carnassus saying? Hold on, let me go back. Carnassus said I need to watch. Oh, What Happened to Monday? Yeah, no, I don't even know if I've ever heard of that. What is it on, Netflix? Oh, Leela said she be trying to follow my story. I'm sorry. I guess I say the word and I keep going, huh? I might spell it and then I just keep going. What is Dexter? Dexter, what is all of these shows? Oh, okay, so What Happened to Monday is on Netflix. Okay. What Happened to Monday is on Netflix. And Dexter is also on Netflix. Good night, Marsica. Don't forget, tomorrow 9 p.m. We're going to have a good old talk tomorrow. We're going to have some red wine. He said he was getting red wine. So which one y'all saying I need to watch first? Dexter or What Happened to Mondays? What y'all talking about? Is that Monterio? Hey, Monterio. Punisher. So we talking about Punisher? Yes, Leela. I want to see that Roxanne Shante show movie. I saw a trailer for it. I saw a trailer somewhere on Facebook. Okay, so I need to watch Dexter. Where's my I was going to write this down. Okay, so I need to watch. Okay, let me watch What Happened to Monday first. Let me get a pen so I can write this down. All right, What Happened to Monday? So I need to. So John Trina, you asked me if I finished watching The Shy. I'm gonna watch my last episode when I get off of here, and then maybe I'll start What Happened to Monday. What Happened to Monday, and that's on Netflix. All right, Adrian, have a good night. Okay, yeah, I saw 7 seconds. That was brilliant. So I'm going to watch What Happened to Monday, and then I'm going to watch, do I need to watch Dexter? What the hell is Dexter? Monterio going to have me watch What Happened to Monday first, and then watch The Shy, because I'm pretty much caught up on The Shy. I'm just one episode. So on The Shy, I'm on the episode where they did the gun, when they turned in the guns for cash. I watched that episode, so now I need to watch one after that. I got one more to watch, and then I'll be caught up. Y'all are really going in. Jay saying it too. Y'all are really going in for what happened to Monday. I don't even think I've ever heard of it. All right, I'm going to start it tonight. Good night, Michelle Murray. Thank you again for your glowing message about the book. I think I posted it on my Facebook, I think. Yes, I did. I did. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm going to finish watching The Shy first because I just got one more episode. And then I'm going to watch What Happened to Monday. Okay, I'm going to finish The Shy. And then I'm going to watch What Happened to Monday. So do I need to watch Dexter? Oh, it's not on anymore, but it has several episodes. Okay, so I could go and watch that on like my Fire Stick or something. Okay. All right, that's going to be my new show to watch. Oh, he watched it 6 times. Good night, Glenda. Good night, Susan Fierro. All right, so look, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to watch my show, The Shy, and then I'm going to start an episode of What Happened to Monday. And then tomorrow, I'm going to get my hair cut. I certainly will, Jay. I'll let you know what I thought about it. But tomorrow night, don't forget, 9 o'clock, we're going to have a special guest on. We're going to have Mike on. We're going to be talking about suicide, depression, and loneliness. All right? So be safe. Keep loving yourself. Be inspired. Be encouraged. And trust that the universe conspires to work in your favor. Believe that the universe conspires to work in your favor. That everything comes together to work in your favor. All right? Brush your teeth. Floss your teeth. Brush that nasty-ass tongue. Walmart is still open in most cities, even if they close at midnight. They're still open. Go and get you a tongue scraper. Get you some cold-pressed virgin. Oh, it's a movie. Okay, Carnassus. Get you some cold-pressed virgin refined coconut oil and swish it around in your mouth. After you brush your teeth, you floss your teeth, and you gargle. Do the coconut oil last. It's a process called oil pulling. I posted the benefits of oil pulling on my Facebook page like 2 or 3 days ago, so just scroll down and look for it. Swish that around in your mouth. It removes infection from your body and impurities. It prevents cavities, and it will whiten your teeth. Yes, Jay, oil pulling. But you need to use cold-pressed, refined, virgin coconut oil. Okay? Organic. I forgot organic. Coconut oil. And you swish that around in your mouth. Spit that out. If you're already in bed, get your ass out of the bed. Because you done sat there and ate some peanut M&Ms and peanut chews and Snicker bars. Get that stuff out of your gums, because that stuff, it lays on your teeth. It lays on the enamel. And you can't even get the floss in between your teeth because there's so much plaque. And good night.